Manifest with Babs, manifestwithbabs.com. I mean, that's where you book sessions. And other than that, let's get started because let's get started. Why not? So today's video is about third parties and why you might need them gone. I have been seeing a lot on my feed, on my YouTube feed. Oh, get rid of the third party, etc., etc. Why? Why do you need to get rid of the third party? There's no need to get rid of the third party. The only reason why we tend to freak out about it is because you're afraid that it can't or won't happen unless they get rid of the third party. Who cares if there's a third party? If you know that you already have it, then the third party doesn't matter. This is why the 4 manifesting steps, or the 3 manifesting steps, if you want to skip step number two, this is so important that you do them because as you're working through resistance and detaching over and over and over, you care less and less about the 3D. What happens in here, you care less and less about it. You do more of you, more of what you want, what you feel like doing, what you want to do. And you care so much and less and less and less about the 3D. And the third party is just part of the 3D. The third party is just part of the old energy, possibly. Old energy is the part where you are, where the old story keeps repeating. It is going the opposite way of what you want to happen. That's old energy. That's detox, shadow work, whatever you want to call it. I call it old energy. It's the old story repeating that they don't want you. They're not ready. They don't want you. They don't want a relationship, whatever, right? If you're in touch with them, if you're not in touch with them, it doesn't matter. If there is a third party, and here's the other thing, a third party isn't always just a third person. A third party could be work or a family member or something else that comes before you that is more important than being with you, right? That is keeping you from that. That could be a third party. But if it's a person in particular, in this case, you don't need to get rid of them. The only reason why we freak out is because of fears. But as soon as you start, this is what I'm teaching you right now. This is what I would teach you in a session. As soon as you put the emphasis on the third party and you start trying to get rid of them, you're not actually focusing on the end result. What the hell are you doing? Why would you be concentrating on what you don't want? If you keep concentrating on the end result and the end result only and release resistance and detach, the third party will go away. Here's an example. The first time I learned manifesting a long time ago, I manifested my dream guy at the time back. Yes, I lost him. It was a whole nother issue, but we were together for a couple of years. So when I manifested him back, it took me 5.5 months because I was also just learning about manifesting. I was brand new to it. And other than that, it was just working through resistance and detaching, doing the 4 steps. This is how I got him back. And I have since then manifested 2 handfuls of guys in between that since then and now. It has gotten so much easier because the 4 steps work and you don't have to do them perfectly. You just want to do them enough. Do them enough. So as you're working through the 4 steps, things start shifting. And yes, it will, for the most part of manifesting, it will look like it's not going to happen. That's the old energy. That's the old story clearing out. But when I manifested my guy back, he was in a serious relationship. They were saying, I love you and everything. They had been dating for 4.5 months. Almost right after we broke up, he started dating her. And guess what? When he came back to me, he was living with her. They were living together. But guess what also was happening is as he started coming back, he said, I already told her she needs to move out. We are moving out. She thinks we're going to continue the relationship, but they both knew it was going to be an end there to the relationship because once you move out after you live together, that's not usually a great sign, but that's how it worked, that part of manifesting out. So they were together. They were telling each other, I love you. They were living together. And he still chose me because I stuck to the end result. And I knew I was going to get him. Not the conscious knowing. It's that feeling when you know you already have it. And that got stronger. The more I worked through the 4 steps and detaching and releasing resistance, the more I just felt like it was going to happen. I didn't know. It was like, I know it's going to happen. That usually is an indication that you have a lot of resistance in place. So you want to work through that. And sorry for the weird voice. I try to mix it up and be funny a little bit, but nothing personal. I just felt more and more like it was a very big possibility it could happen. I didn't know it will happen. It was more like, hey, I think this could really work. That's detaching. You think it could really work. You think it's possible, but you don't know if it will happen because there is no certainty in manifesting. I want you to realize that there's no certainty. And the thing about us humans is we love certainty. We always grab onto it. But certainty isn't always just a good place to be, right? Because often our mind goes either in the negative direction of certainty or the positive version of certainty. So if you have negative beliefs and stories in place, you're going to grab onto, no, it's never going to happen. And if you have more positive ones, oh, it will happen. But either one, certainty is usually just a result of attachment. There's no, I also wouldn't say that there's toxic attachment. I know Caleb likes to talk about it. Love you, buddy. But there's no toxic attachment. It's attachment or not attached. You're attached, and then you start working on detaching, and it's a gradual thing, and then boom, there might be an instant where you kind of break up with a manifestation, and that's when you actually detach. You can initiate detaching by saying that I want it, I don't need it in the fourth step, but there will usually be a moment where you say, oh, I don't need this, and you go through this whole breakup in your mind, not breaking up with the person, but it almost feels like a breakup with a manifestation where you just genuinely realize you don't need it. You'll be okay no matter what. That is detaching. You'll be okay no matter what. If you're okay with getting something other than that manifestation, you're detached. If you're not okay with it, that's attachment, right? And attachment usually comes from some sort of belief or a story that's in place. Again, let's go back to the third party. Why would you put any effort into the third party? Because now you're taking away the focus from the actual end result. And the whole point of deliberate manifesting is stick to the end result and nothing else. No other things. Anything that happens in the 3D is old energy or was caused by a belief you had in place that you're now taking care of. The manifesting process eliminates these beliefs that cause the third party in the first place usually. So why put any effort into that? Because as soon as you take any focus away from the end result and you put it into the 3D, it's impossible to get what you want because the 3D is already old energy. It already is playing out. You cannot change it as it's playing out. You can change what will happen in the future. That's what your influence is by doing the 4 steps, right? But you can't change it if it's already there. You can't undo it. If it's there, it's already there. You accept it. I accept that there's a third party. I accept that he chose her over me or whatever you need to accept. Accept it. Don't put any more effort in the third party. Yeah, you can be upset about it. Obviously, let the emotions out. But don't put any effort or focus on that because now you're taking the focus away from what you really want. And what the most important thing about manifesting is you want to put your focus on what you want, not what you don't want. What's playing out around you is everything you don't want. That is old energy, old story repeating. It's the trash that your mind is taking care of and it's getting rid of. So it's making place and room for the new stuff coming in. Ignore it. Not in the sense where you deny that there's a third party because you want to accept it and you want to accept how you feel about that. That's super important, right? But you want to ignore it in the sense that, you know what? I accept there's a third party. Doesn't mean that it can't happen with us. This could just be resistance in place again. Go through the 4 steps and see what comes up. In step 3, right? A third party doesn't mean you're not going to get what you want. This is why we usually freak out about it. And when I started manifesting and I started manifesting him, back then I asked my coach, hey, what if she wins in the manifesting? It's like a competition, right? What if she ends up with him and I don't get it? And my coach said, that's not how it works. Everything is in your reality. And all you want to concentrate is in your reality, not theirs. As soon as you go to their reality, you're taking away from your focus on what you want. What you want to do in manifesting, deliberate or non-deliberate, you stick to your end result. And as soon as you take your focus off of that and you put it on the 3D, you're not going to get what you want. Don't do it. Don't even bother trying to get rid of the third person or any kind of third party because you're just doing yourself a disfavor. You're not doing yourself a favor. Stick to what you want. Stick to going through the 4 steps or 3 steps, whatever you do, and just acknowledge that the third party is there, but don't put any more effort into that. They mean nothing. In your reality, they mean nothing. They're just old energy or a belief that was playing out. But you're taking care of that by doing the 4 steps. I promise you, do the 4 steps and you will feel better and you will see changes. And if you keep sticking to them, eventually the manifestation shows up. Again, certainty of it will show up is usually attachment. So try to detach at least, because attachment makes us usually feel pretty stressed and we think about it so much. We stress more and we really want it and we're not going to be okay without it. That's attachment. So detaching just feels really good. You can have what you want even when you're attached or have resistance. Who cares? But, because we make our own rules, right? But it makes us feel better. And I like manifesting to feel good. I want to get what I want and feel good in the process, not just one or the other. I want both. So again, why bother trying to get rid of the third party? They're just playing something out. They are real. Everything in your world around you is real. Don't say it's not real. It is real. It is there. You're experiencing it. Therefore, it is real. But acknowledge it, accept how you feel about it, and move back to putting your focus on what you want. This is what you need to do. Put your focus on what you want. That's the golden ticket. And then obviously release resistance and detach. I hope this helped. Have a great day.